If you're anything like me, then you just want to make people happy. And while I think this is a beautiful thing that we share, I also think that it is somewhat of a character flaw. And let me tell you why. Because at the heart of this desire of wanting to make people happy, I think is this crippling awareness that when we walk into a room, we are scanning. We are trying to understand people's demeanors, their facial expression, the way that they're communicating, the way that they are holding themselves. And we are able to pinpoint where on the scale of happy to upset people are. And when we see someone who is skewing towards the upset side, you might feel this tug, this pull of wanting to make that person happy. You probably have the superpower where you're able to walk into a room and understand how everyone is feeling at that moment by their facial expressions, by the way that they're holding their body. Whatever it is, you might feel this tug, this pull of wanting to make that person happy. It might be your task that you give yourself when you walk into a room and you see that someone is unhappy in it. You might put this pressure on yourself to make that person happy. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of To Be Known. If you're new here, my name is Makayla Morman, and I am your go-to girl when it comes to anything personal development related in your 20s. If you're older, if you're younger, I do not care. I am just happy that you are here because today we are going to be talking about the problem with trying to make people happy. Because while I think that this is very admirable of wanting to make people happy, I also think that it could be somewhat of an abomination, if I'm going to be honest, because it all depends on where this desire comes from. It took me years to realize that this part of my personality is kind of a burden. And I am wanting to have this conversation with you today in case you need to hear it from someone else. It is okay for you to stop trying to make people happy. What I need you to understand is that the problem with this desire to make people happy depends on where it is coming from. Is it coming from a place of genuine generosity, where you're coming from a place of abundance, where your cup is filled to the top with how happy you feel in your life and you want to outpour that joy into other people? Or are you coming from a place of people pleasing? This place, this idea that you are hyper vigilant, that you are anxious, that you feel as though your worth in the room depends on how well you are able to make the other people in the room happy, how pleasant you are able to be, how many smiles on people's faces that you are able to accomplish in a given period of time. What place is this desire to make people happy actually coming from? And that's the question that you need to ask yourself today. The thing with people pleasing and this desire to make people happy is that it is a beautiful thing. And people pleasers, by nature, you are an empath. You are someone who gets so much joy out of seeing other people happy. However, what you have done is taking it on as a job, because people pleasers are not born, they are made. Somewhere along the way in your early years, in your early experiences, you learned that the comfortability of someone else's emotions is more important than keeping your peace. It is more important than your own emotions at the end of the day. You feel as though it is your purpose to serve others and to help them with their own emotions. And honestly, this is not your job. A people pleaser mindset is based in scarcity. It is all about fear. It is this belief that if you do not manage another person's emotions, then something bad will happen to you. If you do not manage another person's feelings or how happy they are, if you do not give them happiness, then you do not have value in the relationship with whoever it is, a parent, a friend, a partner, a coworker, a boss, whatever it is. You feel as though your value, your worth in that relationship is very much tied to how you perform and how you are able to bring joy, bring something better to another person, or honestly, any of the people in your life. And that is so based in fear, yet it comes from such a place of love and wanting to be seen, wanting to be cherished by another person. But at the end of the day, it's fear. it's a control that we have over ourselves and over other people, that if we give them joy, if we make them smile, then that means that everything is all right in our relationship with them. Everything is all right in the world, because what did we do? We made people happy. We put our best foot forward, but is it coming from the right place? Is it coming from generosity? Is it coming from this idea that I have so much joy to have for myself that I am then able to go out into the world and share that with others? Is it coming from a place of abundance, or is it coming from a place of scarcity? Because that's where the problem with wanting to make people happy really stems from. The truth is, you do not have any power over anyone's emotions other than yourself. And if you are not able to make another person happy, if your efforts are not seen, if your efforts are not able to fix someone's upset, not able to put a smile on a person's face, it will make you feel defeated. It will make you question your worth if you are not able to help, if you are not able to put a smile on another person's face. And that sucks. And that's where this problem with wanting to make people happy really stems from. Because if you relate to any of the things that I just said, it's really time for you to take a look within and see how detrimental this people pleaser mentality and this desire, this need, this drive to make people happy is coming from. Because chances are, if you're a people pleaser, and I know this because I have spent the first, I don't know, like 24 years of my life doing this, being a people pleaser and giving so much of myself when I was pouring from an empty cup. And I resented myself for it. I ended up resenting myself for it because at first I thought it was admirable. At first, I thought it was a beautiful thing to be a people pleaser, until I realized how draining it was for me and how it just made my life feel like I was living in such a lack. I felt like I was in burnout constantly because I was giving so much to other people that I didn't have anything for myself. And when I took a look within and I saw how I was betraying myself with this desire to make people happy, this is not about not wanting to make people happy. This is about questioning where this desire to make people happy is coming from. Because when you come from a place where you are overflowing, where you genuinely love your life, you love the people in your life, you feel that abundance of joy within yourself, you're able to give it to everyone. You're able to walk into a room and to laugh from a genuine place of laughter and light and love. You are able to give so much of what you want to give to others when you are actually coming from a place of genuine generosity with your joy, rather than feeling like you have to do this, feeling like you have to make people happy, because you don't have to. You don't. You don't have to make people happy. You should want to make people happy because you yourself are overflowing with it. Like I said at the beginning of today's episode, it is a beautiful thing to want to make people happy. It is a superpower to be able to walk into a room and be an emotional thermometer who is able to scan and understand who in the room needs someone to bring a smile on their face, who needs to have a lighthearted and open conversation with another person where they are seen and you are able to see them and feel like you are doing something for the world, like you are doing something for this person. It is so beautiful that you are that compassionate, that you are that empathetic, that you are just such a sweet-hearted person, that you want to make other people's lives better, but you cannot do it at your detriment. And that is what I'm talking about today. It took me years to realize that this superpower of being able to walk into a room, to scan, to be able to ease the tension, to ease the awkwardness with my personality, with the things that I say to people, with how nice I try to be to those around me. I know that it is a superpower, but at some point I realized just how exhausting it actually was, and that I didn't want to feel like I had to be that person anymore. You don't have to do that too. Maybe you are at a tipping point in your life right now where you realize that you are no longer able to manage other people's emotions as well as your own. And this is a tough pill to swallow. This is something that I know that I've had to go through, and I had breakdowns about it. I thought that I had a pivotal breakthrough moment about my people-pleasing tendencies, and then I had 3 more after that. It is an ongoing journey, this concept of learning that it is okay to stop trying to make people happy. It is a beautiful thing that you want that that you want to be such a light in other people's eyes. But the most important thing that you can do is to fill up your own cup first. If you are anything like me in this people pleaser identity mentality, then I know that you have no idea how you actually feel because you're so worried about the other people in your life and how they are feeling and what's going on in their lives. But you need to take a step back and take a look within and try to figure out how it is that you actually feel in your life. When people ask you the question, how are you doing? You need to have a genuine answer. You need to ask yourself the question of, how am I actually doing? And have an answer for yourself, because I know that you are so busy checking out there, checking how everyone else is feeling, that you do not give yourself the time that you need, that you do not check in with your own emotions and feelings. And that is the detriment that comes with this desire of wanting to make people happy, because you are so focused on the joy of others that you forget that you can have it for yourself. The goal isn't to stop caring about people's happiness. It is to stop feeling responsible for it. It is this idea of letting a frown be a frown. It is this idea that if someone is in a mood, you just let them have it. You just listen, or you sit in the same room as them and you do not take responsibility to fix it for them, to help them through it. It's this idea that you still have value in your relationships even when you aren't performing, even when you stop trying to make people happy. What I want for you is to step away from this anxious hypervigilance and step into this idea of genuine generosity that comes from an abundant joy within. And I know it can be easier said than done, but sometimes all you need to hear is a message to get that little worm inside your brain so that you want to see what you want for yourself, so that you can understand that, hey, it's actually okay for me to stop trying to make people happy and to just be, to just watch people, to just watch their emotions, to just sit with them and listen and not try to fix it for them, to step into a room and see a frown and let it be a frown. It's okay for you to do that. And that's really all I want you to know from today's episode. With all of that being said, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I know that it was heavy, but I really just wanted to share this with you because this has been a message in my life that I've really needed to hear and understand deeply for myself, that it is okay for me to stop trying to make people happy. And I know that you probably needed to hear it too if you clicked on today's episode. And to end on a little bit of a lighter, brighter note, I just wanted to share with you something kind of funny, I guess, but honestly kind of cool, and it really made my day. But after the start of the very beginning of that episode, after I did my little intro, I forgot that I had a meeting with some of my classmates. I'm in my master's right now, and we had a little meeting to just have a little conversation, I guess, for an assignment. And I had to answer, like, in my whole setup. One of the people in my group, she shared with me that she has come across my podcast in the past and that she's seen my videos and shared with me like an impactful quote of mine, I guess, which I can't believe I have impactful quotes that people remember. Hopefully I had one today for you that you'll remember. But she shared with me like a quote from a video I did for my 24th birthday, like a year and a half ago at this point. And it like honestly made me cry, because the thing about doing a podcast is I want to help you. I want you to be happier by the end of the podcast episode than when you entered it, even with a heavy episode like today. I want to make your life better. That is my purpose. And I know I just gave you a whole episode of like why you should stop trying to make people happy. However, I want you to be happy. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. And to hear that something I said resonated with her so much that she was able to literally quote it a year and a half after watching it. I mean, I don't know how long ago she watched it, but that meant a lot to me because I don't hear stuff like that on the day to day. I don't get a lot of comments or things like that, because a lot of the times when you post on social media and you post podcasts like this, you don't hear much from people. But the most important thing for me is that with every podcast episode, as long as I helped one person, that means that it meant something to me. And I always set a little intention whenever I post these on YouTube, like, I hope I just help one person, even if I don't know. And so yeah, I thought that was funny, but it was really, really sweet hearing that from her and that whole conversation that I had with the two of them. That was awesome. And so if you guys are watching this episode, thank you guys for making my day. And I hope that I just inspired you guys today. I hope that I made you realize that it really is okay for you to stop trying to make people happy and to put yourself first. That is just what I want for you. And if you liked today's video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, click subscribe. If you are listening on Spotify, please give this video a 5-star review and follow on there as well. And if you really want to follow along the To Be Known journey, please follow at To Be Known Pod on TikTok and Instagram. The links will always be in the show notes below. And please comment something. Please comment a takeaway or something that you liked from today's episode. I really, really, really love hearing from you guys. And you could probably tell by the fact that I shared that with you. It's really cool hearing when people watch and stuff because I don't know, it makes my heart warm. Okay, well, that's all I got for you guys today. But, oh, I almost forgot my favorite line of the whole episode. Stay true to you. Bye.